March. This is a great gathering, and it's an honor for me to be here. I also happen to know 3 out of the 4 honorees. I've seen Sheila's Energy at the Federal Bar Council in Fort, and of course Vince and I have worked together a lot over the years. So it is my honor to introduce the 4th recipient of the City Bar's Diversity Award, Andrew Hahn. I also want to acknowledge his wife Rosa, who's here today, and congratulate her on putting up with Andy. Andy has been a true champion of diversity in the profession. He has done so internally at the law firms, where he has practiced advocating for and implementing initiatives that have made the firms stronger and more diverse. Stronger because they are more diverse. And Andy has been a good example that diversity is also good business. He's also excelled externally by taking on leadership roles at organizations like the Asian American Bar Association of New York, the National Asian Pacific American Bar Association, and the Korean American Lawyers Association of Greater New York. From my perspective, a topic that's dear to my heart is Andy's efforts with respect to diversity on the bench. He has been particularly helpful in that respect. He was chair of Albany's Judiciary Committee way back in 1993 when I first applied to be on the district court. And when I was going through that very difficult process, he was there. Andy was also on the City Bar's Judiciary Committee for 3 years, from 1996 to 1999. And the Judiciary Committee is one of the City Bar's busiest and most important committees. And it was extremely important to have an Asian American on that committee. In 2007, Andy became president-elect of NAPAVA, and he took over as president in 2009. It is no coincidence that in the last several years, the number of active Asian American Article III judges has grown from 6 to 14. For many years, it hovered around 5 or 6, and then today we're now 14. And Andy played a critical role in this effort. He was in the leadership position when it started. Lorraine said as of March 2011, I was the only active Court of Appeals judge of Asian American descent in the country. Well, it looks like it will be that way for a while with the defeat of Professor Liu last week. But Andy did so much to help us eliminate that zero that had been there for 5 or 6 years. But Andy has been a great resource, not just for the federal judiciary, but also for young lawyers. He has been a wonderful role model and a great mentor for many. His karaoke outings are legendary. In fact, he brought some friends along today who were not lawyers, and they were talking about karaoke. Despite his successes, Andy has never forgotten his community. He has never forgotten his roots. He continues to be an inspiration to us all, and he has shown us that diversity goes hand in hand with personal and professional success. For all that he has done, and for all that he will continue to do, the New York City Bar Association honors Andy Hahn with its 2011 Diversity Champion Award.
Thank you, Judge Chin, for coming and introducing me. I know you're very busy downtown. Vince, I understand the new apocalyptic date is October 21st, which is okay by me because my 50th birthday is October 22nd. I turn 50. I'd like to get my thank yous out Oh, wait, first, let me first thank the Asian American Bar Association of New York. Thank you for your tireless efforts, especially James Chu, President Linda Lin, Executive Director Young Chen, and the rest of the board for nominating me for this prestigious award. And thank you for the New York City Bar Association, Zakia, Elizabeth, Lorraine, for bestowing this great honor upon me. And I want to express my appreciation to all my friends and my new colleagues, Dwayne Morris, who is taking the time off to celebrate this award with me. And of course, I would be very remiss if I did not recognize my wife, Rosa, who had to maintain the home front all those late nights and on weekends when I was karaoke. Now, performing my duties as a bar association. Quick story, Rosa was the first piano teacher of Lady Gaga, as some of you may know. And if you saw Saturday Night Live this past weekend, you can see that she was taught very well. But I'll be very brief, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I have a very important message. And where's Judge Robinson? You know, Judge Robinson, you gave my speech. I mean, great minds must think alike. You must be a court of law education or something. But it may not be a surprise to you, many of you in the room, that diversity in the legal profession is almost becoming a contradiction in terms, much like jumbo shrimp, military justice, honest politician. In fact, 25 years ago when I first started in the profession, Asian American litigator. But seriously, diversity in the legal profession is at a critical juncture. As everyone recognized, while the demographics in the city, the state, this country is moving towards increasing diversity, the statistics in the legal profession is exhibiting the opposite trend, or at least a stagnant trend. And I think I may know the reason why. Certain law firms, corporations, government, and Judge Robinson mentioned this, or alluded to this. Some of the people have this attitude that, oh, we don't care about diversity, or we don't consider diversity because we want the best. And it's almost as if they're suggesting that diversity and quality are two mutually exclusive categories, like a Venn diagram. You have diversity on one hand, quality on the other, and there's no overlap. But let me tell you, that attitude is not only insulting, it's wrong. There is an overlap. I've been practicing in this profession for almost 25 years, and I will tell you honestly that the diverse attorneys that I was in the trenches with are amongst the best and the brightest attorneys I have ever worked with before. They are hardworking, they're intelligent, passionate, persistent, and they have, what's very important, a chip on their shoulder. And they have a chip on their shoulder because, as one of the honorees mentioned, they are usually the first and only one in their families to be lawyers. So they have something to prove. And they all know, we all know, that we cannot make a mistake because we will not get a second opportunity to correct it. Conversely, in my same 20 years in the legal profession, I have seen decisions on hiring, retention, and promotion being based on factors such as favoritism, connections, nepotism, politics, and, dare I say, discrimination. And that is why diversity programs is so important. Judge Robinson mentioned it. It levels the playing field. It injects a sense of meritocracy in a profession that is losing meritocracy. So what do? Well, let me first say that the people who don't consider diversity are ones that want to maintain the status quo. And as the great late President Reagan said, status quo, you know, that's Latin for the mess we're in. So let me just continue to say, if anyone ever dares tell you that we don't consider diversity because we want the best, I want all of you to look them in the face and say, if you want the best, better consider diversity. Thank you.